one of our assignments this week, we're actually going to have you build your first HTML page from scratch. This page is going to be used throughout the semester, and it's going to be considered maybe your homework homepage. It's going to be the place where you're going to put links to all your assignments from this point forward, and we're going to be able to explore some things in a more independent way than just following the exercises in the book. So the first thing we need to do is create a blank file in Aptena. We're going to be doing this by going to File, New. The type of new file we're going to create is a file. You may remember that under our top level we have folders such as Unit A, Unit B, Unit C that we've been using for our exercises from week to week. However, for this particular page, we're going to keep it outside of any of those folders. So we're just going to make sure that we have our top level highlighted, and then for the file name we're going to call our file index.html. Index.html is a pretty standardized file name when creating websites. It's kind of like saying the table of contents or the index of a directory. It's the main page or the home page. So it's a very common name we use when we're developing pages. We're going to use index.html for now, and we're going to create finish. When we do this, we're going to have a blank workspace. I've provided you within this week's materials kind of an outline of what needs to be included. In the title area, make sure you put something descriptive. It should be something beyond the default information I've provided. I provided the text, this is a page title, but I'm just going to type in Christopher's homepage. Then I'm going to put the name of the course, CIS 257A, homework homepage. I'm going to have my name. I'm going to place my major here, and you will want to put whatever your actual major is. Then for my hometown, my hometown there. There are a couple points I make in the assignment about getting this code to the point where it is more correct, and we're going to do that by adding the doc type, and then we're going to add the attribute for language. And you should be pretty well set at this point. If you want to take a look at what this code looks like, this HTML that you've just built, let's run it, and here we go. Looks about what I was expecting. Let's go back to the editor now, because we want to bring this out to the student server at this point. We've previously set up your Aptena software so that it would have a connection to the student server. We're going to use that connection now to take the file you just created. As you can see, it's not in one of our subfolders. It's under the top folder for our class. If I right mouse click on this file, you'll notice that I have an option to publish. But we're going to upload the file. You should get some kind of notice like this saying that one item has been uploaded. Next, we're going to pull up our browser and we're going to take a look and see if it really made it to the server. I'm going to dismiss this dialog box by saying OK, pull up my web browser, and then type in the student server. student.muskegoncc.edu. We see a list of all the students. If you can go ahead and test this by going to your particular link. When you do that, you should see the page. I'm going to go to the instructor website link and see what I see. And there it is, exactly what I was expecting. Now you've not only created your first page, but you've also published it to the student server. That's great progress. We're going to be using this page throughout the semester. The next thing we want to do is we want to go through and validate the code to see if it's really valid and see if there's any errors in it. You remember earlier this week in the exercises you actually learned about validation using the W3C website. We're going to go there now. I'm actually just going to search for it. You may memorize the actual validator URL over time, but you can just search Google and find it. W3C Markup Validation Service. And then we're going to copy the URL for the web page that we published into this field right here. We paste it, hit check, and we should get our results. The good news is there's no errors. We know this because if we scroll down on the page, we'll see a notice at the bottom. Document checking complete. No errors or warnings to show. From this point on in the class, anytime you submit a file to me, you should bring it through the validator first. Code that doesn't validate at 100% will lose points. This code is ready to go. There's no validation errors, so you shouldn't lose any points as long as you built the content the way I specified in the project. Now, when you submit this project, what I need to know, and I need to know this anytime you submit a project, is the URL or the address where I can see the project on the server. It's very easy to provide for me. Just watch for the URL in the browser, take the URL line, click on it, copy it, and email me that link. That way I'll be able to view your work, give you a grade and additional feedback. This is a big milestone. You've basically created your own independent page at this point. It's published out on the web, and now we'll be able to use this and expand on this throughout the semester. That's the end of the project for now. Make sure you submit it to me via email.